This is from a few years ago, but it's come up in arguments lately, so I figured I'd get some outside opinions and maybe finally settle whether what we did was actually wrong or whether my mom is just still pissed about it. My mom is what you might call a spite cleaner. She uses cleaning as a tool to control and nag and whine and complain about us. My siblings and I bore the brunt of it growing up, and TBH, I still feel weird about cleaning my own apartment sometimes. There's three of us, my brother who's the oldest, me in the middle, and my sister who's the youngest. We're all in our late 20s, early 30s now. The events I'm describing happened when we were all still living at home, so basically late teens and early 20s for us, and my brother was 23 when the cleaner thing happened, so do the math on the rest. Hell Day, that's what we called it. Hell Day was usually Saturday, but sometimes Sunday, depending on what Mom had planned that weekend. The way it would go is she would wake us up early, like 7 a.m. early, which when you're a teenager who stayed up till 1 a.m. is brutal, and announce that today is cleaning day. Sometimes she had a list written out, like an actual paper list with categories. Sometimes she just started ordering us around as she thought of things. Then she would leave. That was the worst part. She would announce all this and then immediately get her keys and head out to do shopping or errands or running by my mom's and leave us to it. Those errands almost always took 4 to 6 hours. We timed it once. My brother kept a record on his phone for like 3 months. The average hell day she was gone for 5 hours and 12 minutes. I'm not making that up. He showed me the spreadsheet. So my brother, my sister, and I would be stuck inside doing whatever cleaning she told us to do. The thing about it was, even when we tried really hard, like really tried, it didn't matter. We learned over time that no matter what we did, it wouldn't be enough. She'd come back, walk through the house slowly the way she does, and start finding things wrong. The kitchen counter wasn't wiped well enough. The bathroom mirror had streaks you could see from the doorway. The vacuum lines on the carpet were the wrong direction. I still don't know what that means. I really don't. It's not a thing. The couch cushions weren't fluffed in the way she liked them, which was a specific way that involved hitting them on the corner first and then the middle. The towels in the bathroom weren't folded into thirds. There was always something. Always. And we'd argue. The arguments started small, but they always grew. By dinner, everyone would be upset. My dad would usually retreat to the basement at this point. He's not a confrontation guy, and honestly, looking back, I wish he'd stepped in more, but that's a separate post, probably. A few examples, so you can picture what we're dealing with. One time, my brother spent 2 hours cleaning the kitchen. 2 hours. He did the counters with Windex, then with the proper kitchen spray, then dried them with a microfiber cloth. He took everything off the counter and cleaned under it. He cleaned the inside of the microwave, even though that wasn't on the list. He swept and mopped. Mom comes home and says, "You didn't wipe down the side of the fridge." The side. Not the front, not the top, the side that faces the wall, that had like an inch of space between it and the wall. He couldn't even see the side properly. She made him pull the fridge out. There was nothing to clean back there because nothing could get back there. He still had to wipe it. He cried in his room after. Another time my sister was probably 14 and she was assigned the bathroom. She cleaned the toilet, the tub, the sink, the floor, the mirror. Everything. Mom comes home, takes her bathroom inspection tour, and says, "You didn't get the grout between the tiles." We didn't have a grout brush. We never had a grout brush. My sister had to use an old toothbrush. She was on her hands and knees for like another hour. The grout looked the same after, but Mom said it looked better. There were also some funny ones in retrospect. One Sunday she made us refold every towel in the linen closet because we hadn't been folding them the right way. She showed us the right way. It was the same way. The towels were identical when she finished demonstrating. I think she just wanted to make us refold them. What was extra messed up was that she would do this thing where she would call while she was out and check on our progress, like she'd be at the grocery store and call and say, "What are you doing right now?" My sister had to describe what she was doing in detail. If Mom didn't think we were on schedule, she would get this tone. "Well, I hope you finish before I get back." So all of us would be miserable. And the thing is, we'd been doing this for years. I'm talking literal years. The pattern of hell day, complaint, arguing, dad disappearing, mom going to bed mad, repeat the next weekend or 2 weeks later. We just lived in it. We didn't even question it, really, because that's just how our family worked. The cleaner thing started one Saturday in the summer when I was 21. It was probably July. It was hot, and we'd had a hell day the weekend before that ended with my mom telling my sister she was raised wrong, which is a thing mom says when she's really upset, and my sister had locked herself in her room and cried for like an hour. Mom was out on errands this Saturday too, but it wasn't a cleaning day, it was just regular errands, and the three of us were sitting on the back porch eating sandwiches my brother made. I don't remember who said it first, but my brother said something like, I bet if we hired professional cleaners, she'd still find something wrong. And it just hung in the air for a second. My sister was like, we should test that. And we kind of laughed it off, but then we kept talking about it. And the more we talked, the more it felt like we should actually do it. The problem was we didn't have a ton of money. My brother had a real job by then. He was working at a tire shop and saving up for community college. I was working at a coffee place during summer break from college. My sister was in high school still and didn't have a real income. None of us had like cleaner money sitting around. So we started looking online, and the local cleaner companies were quoting like $200 to $300 for a deep clean of a house our size, which would basically be everything any of us could spare. That's when my sister said we should do a GoFundMe. She's the one who's good at like the creative angle. So she set up a GoFundMe. We didn't post it publicly, we just sent it to a bunch of relatives and friends and a few of our parents' friends who had been there during fights and stuff, so they knew what mom was like. The text said something like, help us get a professional house cleaning to surprise our mom, which was technically true, just not in the way they probably read it. We did not mention the part where the surprise was that we were trying to prove our mom is impossible to please. We raised $420 in like 5 days, mostly $20 here, $30 there. My aunt, who is my mom's sister and who has had her own issues with my mom, gave us $100, which is what tipped us over. We used $310 for the cleaning service, and the rest we gave to the cleaners as a tip. So we scheduled it for a Saturday 3 weeks later. My mom had this whole day planned out. She was going to the grocery store, then to the dry cleaners, then to get the car looked at because the check engine light came on, then to my uncle's because she was bringing him over for dinner. So she'd be out from like 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Plenty of time. The cleaners came at 10. 2 women, one was named Brenda and I think the other was Marisol, but I'm not 100% sure on Marisol's name, my sister might remember. Brenda had been cleaning houses for almost 20 years and the other one for 8. They came in with their own supplies and these vacuum cleaners that looked nice, like professional grade. We told them the situation. Like all of it, we were honest. We said our mom is impossible to please and we want to test if she'll find something wrong even with professional cleaning. They thought it was funny, actually. Brenda laughed and said she'd had clients like that. She said, we're going to make this place shine. And they did. I'm not even exaggerating. They worked for like 4.5 hours and the house looked better than I'd ever seen it. Better than mom's cleaning. Better than any cleaning we'd ever done. The kitchen counters reflected light, the mirrors had no streaks, the grout was clean, actually clean, not like our toothbrush job. They moved furniture, they cleaned ceiling fans, they folded the towels in the bathroom into these like fancy hotel folds. We asked if we could film some of their cleaning, with their permission of course, and they were cool with it. We didn't film their faces really, just like wide shots of them working mostly, so we'd have video proof if mom tried to claim we didn't actually hire cleaners. My brother also took before pictures of all the rooms. He was the one who really planned out the documentation part. He's careful that way. The cleaners left around 2:30. They were really nice. We gave them the tip and Brenda was like, good luck, I hope it works. That made me feel a little weird actually, like she was wishing us luck for hurting our mom's feelings, but also I was kind of past caring at that point. So we wait. We sit in the living room and we wait. The house smells like cleaning products, but in the good way, like that lemony smell that lasts. My sister keeps walking around like she can't believe how clean everything is. My brother is on his phone trying to look calm, but I can tell he's nervous. I am for sure nervous. Mom gets home at 6:15. with my uncle. He's her oldest brother. He's a nice guy. He doesn't get involved in family drama, and I think he doesn't even fully know how mom treats us because he's not around enough. He's wearing a button down, and he brought a bottle of wine. She's barely through the door, like she literally hasn't even put her purse down on the entry table where she always puts it. And she goes, "Oh, you started cleaning. That's good." Started. The house is spotless. And she says, "Started." My uncle is taking his coat off and saying something about traffic. Mom keeps walking. She goes into the kitchen. We're all kind of trailing behind her, but trying to be casual. She runs her finger along the counter the way she does. She inspects the stove. And here's where I knew it was going to happen. Did anyone clean the front of the dishwasher? The dishwasher front was clean. I had personally watched Brenda clean it, with like a special stainless steel cleaner. It looked like a showroom. "You can see fingerprints," she says. "I can literally see fingerprints." There are no fingerprints, none. I'm staring at this dishwasher, and it is showroom clean. She moves to the living room. She points at one of the couch cushions. "Did you fluff these? The corners aren't right." The cleaner had fluffed them. Brenda specifically said, "I'm going to fluff these so they look good." They looked good. She goes to the bathroom. She points at the towels. "These look weird. Did you do this?" The fancy hotel folds. She was complaining about the fancy hotel folds. At this point, my brother takes out his phone. He pulls up the video. He doesn't even say anything yet. He just holds the phone up so she can see it, and he hits play. I want to describe the face she made. Her mouth hung open for a second, like it physically dropped. Then it closed. Then her face went really red, really fast. Like the red came up from her neck. My uncle is watching all of this, and he's also a little confused because he doesn't really know what's happening. She watches the video for like 15 seconds, and then she starts screaming. Screaming about how dare we have strangers in her house, how dare we go behind her back, how dare we embarrass her in front of her brother. She's pointing at the TV, which she sometimes does when she's mad. She points at random objects in the room. Her brother is just standing there holding his coat still and looking like he wants to be anywhere else. My brother, and I love him for this, my brother very calmly says, "Mom, the house was clean, professionally clean, and you still found 3 things wrong. You always find something wrong, that's our point." She turned around and walked out of the kitchen and went to her bedroom and slammed the door. We did not have dinner with my uncle that night. He stood there for a minute. Then he kind of awkwardly said something like, "I should probably go," and he left. I felt really bad for him. He didn't sign up for any of this. My dad came up from the basement at some point during the screaming, and he just kind of stood at the bottom of the stairs and watched. He didn't say anything. He didn't take sides. He just watched. Honestly, that was a moment where I was really mad at him too, but again, separate post. That night nobody ate. My sister made us each a bowl of cereal, and we ate it in her room together, watching something on her laptop. I don't remember what. We didn't really talk about what had happened. I think we were all just kind of in shock that we'd actually done it, because for years we'd just absorbed it. And this was the first time any of us had really pushed back. So that was the night. Now I want to tell you about what happened after, because this is where the argument lately comes in. For about a week, Mom didn't really talk to us, like the bare minimum. Pass the salt. Did you take out the trash? That kind of thing. Then on the following Saturday, and I'll never forget this, she got up early and she cleaned the entire house herself, by herself, for about 6 hours. She did not ask us to help. She did not announce a hell day. She just cleaned. And then she did it again the next weekend, and the next. And honestly, from then on, she did most of the cleaning herself. Sometimes she'd ask one of us to do one specific thing, like, "Can you vacuum the living room?" But it wasn't the same. She didn't do the inspection tour after. She didn't find things wrong. The dynamic just shifted. She never admitted that she'd been weaponizing the cleaning. She never apologized for any of the hell days. She never said, "You guys were right." But the behavior stopped, mostly, and for a long time I considered that a win. Now to the part where it came up recently. I'm 28 now. My brother is 30. My sister is 25. We were all over at our parents' house for my dad's birthday last month, and my sister made some joke about cleaning the kitchen, like, "I'll handle it, but you have to promise not to do an inspection." and it was meant as a joke, like a callback to a thing we used to deal with, and Mom heard it. She got quiet. Then a little later she made a comment about how we tricked her with the cleaners thing. She said, "You guys made me look so bad in front of my brother that night, you have no idea." My brother said something like, "Mom, that was 7 years ago, we were trying to make a point." And she said, "You made the point in the cruelest way possible." And that's where I'm stuck. Because was it cruel? Like, we did go around her, technically. We did film without her knowing. We did show her on video that her thing was a thing. We did embarrass her in front of her brother. All of that is true, but also, we'd been miserable for years, and every time we tried to talk to her directly about it, she'd brush it off or get defensive. The cleaner thing was the only thing that actually changed anything. It's the only time anything got better, and honestly, it changed the trajectory of how she treated us going forward. So in a way, this thing she's saying we were cruel about, it's the thing that made her treat us better. I don't know what to make of that. My brother thinks we did the right thing and would do it again. My sister is more conflicted. She sometimes feels guilty about it now, even though she initiated it. My dad still won't take sides, big surprise. And my mom, 7 years later, brings it up like it just happened. So AITAH, were we cruel? Were we justified? I genuinely don't know anymore. Maybe both. Maybe it's possible to do something that helps, and that's also kind of mean. That feels true, but it also feels like a cop-out. Edit. A few people are asking if my mom is otherwise a good mom. She is in a lot of ways. She loved us, she made sure we had what we needed, she came to our school stuff. The cleaning thing was its own specific bad pattern. It's not the whole picture. I want to be fair about that. Edit 2. Someone asked what happened to the GoFundMe money that was left over. We gave it to the cleaners as a tip. Like I said, Brenda was almost in tears when we gave her like $100. She was awesome. Edit 3. Yes, my mom and I still talk. We have a fine relationship now. This thing comes up like maybe once a year and it always feels weird, but we don't fight about it. It just sits there.